Yo, what's up? It's TJ here, and today we're going to talk about 7 successful habits to make you a more successful photographer. By the end of this video, hopefully you'll be able to take some of these tips and turn them into habits that will help you be more successful in your business as a photographer. Just a really quick note, if you're starting off as a beginner photographer, you're going to want to know these habits. Maybe you have already started a business already. If you don't do them already, you probably will need to start doing this eventually. So I wish I would have learned a lot of these things the first time I started my photography business. I started doing photography a long time ago. Picked up a camera, had a T3i. I was taking pictures and people started to like them. They're like, hey, could you take a picture of my family? Could you take a picture of this? Could you take a picture of my graduation? I was like really just going around and doing whatever I could do. I didn't really have a plan. A lot of these habits are what kind of stuck with me and has really shown to be very helpful when it comes to running a business. So let's begin with the first tip, which is make sure you begin with a goal in mind. You don't want to spend your whole entire photography career going from one job to the next, from one genre to the next, just taking whatever gig you can get for however much people are willing to pay for it. You want to specialize in something, and people pay more for you specializing in a specific area. If you want to be a portrait photographer, don't go out and take a whole bunch of event photography, because your gallery and your work is going to show a lot of event photography, a lot of things that aren't your specialty. So make sure you focus on your specialty. I'm not saying don't do any extra work, but make sure your gallery and your work shows that you are specialized in that specific area. People will pay more for that because they know you're the go-to photographer for that specific reason. What's one thing that people can do to be a better photographer?
Don't stop.
Habit number 2 is to be proactive. You never want to just wait for clients to come to you. A lot of times I would just sit around and just wait for the next email to come in until I figured out like, hey, you know what? I need to be actively going after these people. Whether it's through social media, whether it's through Facebook ads, you want to make sure that you are actively going after clients. Make sure you have a system, ways that you can get a certain amount of clients per month. It'd be great to know that, hey, I can get 10 clients per month if I post this amount of times on Instagram or ad on Facebook. Those are things that I didn't really figure out until I really was like, hey, how do I consistently make sure I have clients coming in? My wife is a photographer, so I'm gonna ask her.
One thing that I think would help you as being a photographer is investing in your business as much as possible. I took so many different workshops, different online courses for me to take, and it really helped me, and I think that's a really good idea to help you as a photographer.
The next habit is to make sure you work the first things first. Make sure you work the things that matter the most first. So when you're working for yourself, you really want to prioritize the things that are the money makers. The things that make you money are the things that you need to focus on the most. A lot of us get caught up in the things that really don't matter too much. Well, what's my logo going to be? What's my name going to be? A lot of us don't do a photography business because we don't have a logo yet. But you don't need all that stuff to get started. You don't need a website. You don't need a logo. You don't need something that's like completely curated for your brand before you get started. So prioritize the things that are going to work in your favor and things that are going to make you money, not things that you don't really need to worry about. For me, I actually changed my name a couple of times. So you may think you want to be called one thing and then you realize maybe that's not the genre that you want to be in photography. Like me, I started off as a photographer and I ended up being more centralized in videography because that's where my passion was, and that's where I found that people like my work the most. So don't get distracted on things that don't really matter too much. The next habit is to make sure you understand each and every one of your clients. This is a game of people. It's all about people. If you can relate to people, if people can relate to you, and people feel comfortable around you, and they love your presence when you're just around taking pictures, laugh, smile. It's all about making sure you're making a good impression on each person that you encounter, each client that you encounter, so they will recommend your business to anyone who they can. Let them enjoy their time with you. That way you become friends with your clients. And when you become friends with them, they will love your work even more, no matter how good it is, honestly. The next habit is to make sure you're creating some type of synergy. Now, synergy is basically making sure you're collaborating with other creators that are like-minded and people that will put you in a position that will expand your game. Like I can't explain how many people, like photographers that I met, videographers that I met, creatives that I met, that kind of changed my mindset on a lot of things that really enhanced my business, that really changed my business or leveled up my business. Just being around people who are like-minded and have a goal in mind, maybe they're reaching a little bit further than you are, and they can bring you up to that level. So make sure that you collaborate with people. Make sure you have friends in the creative space that can level you up. Now, they don't have to be photographers, they don't have to be videographers, they can be other business owners that are just doing things at a better level, and that can help level you up and make you a lot better as a business person and as a photographer. One thing for people to be a better photographer.
Stop giving up.
The next habit is to make sure you're thinking about the win-win situation. There's a lot of times in this business where you'll do work just because you know that the outcome will be good. Maybe your photography will be seen in front of a lot of people, or maybe you're doing a wedding and it'll give you the right clients for the next few weddings that you want to do. You want to make sure you're putting yourself in the right rooms with people. You're going to give them a great product, but you're also going to be able to use that work for your own portfolio. So it's a win-win situation. So try to find more win-win situations, and don't be too set on like, this is all about me and not about the client. In the same space, you wanna make sure you are doing the same when it comes to your relationships with other creators and other business people, maybe other photographers and videographers. You wanna make sure that your relationship is win-win as well. Maybe they're giving you some advice, but you're also giving them advice in other areas. So don't go into any relationships thinking of what you can get out of it. Also think about what you can give other people. And the last tip / habit is to sharpen your axe as much as possible. So this business is something that you can really get into and not really, you just think like, hey, I just gotta put my head down and keep working. But a lot of times you need to step back and really think about what you're doing. A lot of times you need to step back and think about like, what's the best thing for me to do in this situation? Or you just need to have a new scenery, a new point of, new perspective, new point of view that will help you to move on to the next level. Maybe it's taking a break and taking a course, or taking a break and going on a seminar, or taking a break and just going on a vacation to allow you to see like something different from a new perspective and allow you to go back in with more and more enthusiasm for your work, even if it's like you working on your craft more in a sense that is not business related, something that's just creative related. If you can do that as much as possible, that will really propel your business and your photography career to the next level. So don't think you have to put your head down and just keep going. So to recap all of that, you want to begin with a goal in mind. You want to make sure you're being proactive as much as possible. Make sure you work on the most important things first. Understand and be friends with each and every client. Make sure you're creating opportunities to collaborate with other creators and other business-minded people. I always think about the scenarios where you can benefit from and benefit for people. And lastly, sharpen the axe. Make sure you are finding time to be creative, be yourself, relax, do whatever you need to do. So just let me know if these tips have helped you. Let me know in the comments below if you will maybe take some of these habits and use them. You might already use some of these habits. Let me know which ones you already use in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.